Welcome to Ready to Exhale, where we center Black women, their lived experiences, expertise, and rich stories. In each episode, we will gain a deeper understanding of what it takes to hold space for our own well-being. This is a brave space where you will be inspired to express your joy and live in the fullness of who you are. It's also a place where we are no longer waiting to exhale. So now, get ready to exhale and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Ready to Exhale. I'm your host, Katara, and today we continue our two-part conversation with the brilliant Dr. Gail Parker. In part one, we explored the urgency of daily practices for our mental health and reflected on the wisdom of boundaries and horizons. And in this episode, part two, we'll go even deeper, looking at how economic pressures and collective trauma impact us as Black women, and how embodied practices can guide us back to balance, healing, and freedom. I'm so glad you're here for this continuation of such an important and soul-filling conversation. Let's get into it with my mentor, Dr. Gail Parker.
And for those of you listening who are motivated to change the world, I'm serious about that. I was one of those people. Am I trying to change the world? I don't know. It is through individual. I did it already. I'll let you guys.
That's right. You're passing the baton to us.
I'm going to sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labors, which include you, everybody doing this work. I forget, where's my thread? It was important too. Shoot. Oh, well, it might come back, you know. We're talking about, I used to teach this at the University of Michigan. It's through individual personal transformation that we change the world. Mm-hmm. It is through individual personal transformation that we change the world. It is not through something external to us.
That's right. I mean, I had that as a prompt to talk to you about, like, how do you see the relationship between personal practices and collective healing, between what we do individually and how we build together collective care, healing, right? Like, it is about, hey, I need to take care of myself. And if I do that, my community's better.
And on an even deeper level, it's about, I am worthy of my own self-care. Mm-hmm. Which is different than I have a right to it. There's something about the proclamations of what I have a right to that rub me the wrong way. Because it smacks of entitlement. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I have a right to something. Well, good luck with that. You know, how about I am worthy? I am worthy. Mm-hmm. I am worthy. There's a chapter in my second book that I wrote on transforming race-based traumatic stress and trauma, on worth, self. And I talk about this, that, you know, how important it is for us to get clear about the fact that we are worthy of our own self-care. And self-care, as you said, goes beyond the superficial things that we do. Manicures, pedicures, binging on Ben and Jerry's, which I did throughout COVID. Also Haagen-Dazs.
Love ice cream.
Yeah, I switched from Cherries Garcia to Haagen-Dazs butter pecan. Oh my God, so good. But that's self-soothing. But self-care which is an important thing to do. Self-care requires a level of discipline that getting a manicure and a pedicure and retail therapy offer. Mm-hmm. It's funny, I have to say this little aside. You and I were just in St. Louis,
Yeah.
and as you know, I decided to do a little retail therapy while I was there.
You just went
And so
rogue. You said, I'm going
it
to
was
go shopping. I'll see you later.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm talking to the sales lady, and I'm telling her all these, my whole life about, these clothes that I decided I needed. And she said, well, they call it, I said, thank you for being my therapist. She said, well, they call it retail therapy for a reason. I said,
That's
it's true.
right. That's right. That's right.
So those are fun things to do, but there is a discipline to self care that again goes much deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Self care involves serenity,
Mm.
it involves eating properly, it involves love, it
Mm.
involves our food choices that we make. Exercise was the E. So this is an acronym. If you pay attention, it was serenity, exercise, love, nutrition, F, food, um, care, community.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember. I have created this acronym. It's in my first book. I'm trying to remember. Actually, I changed it from self-care, that's why I can't think of it, to soul care.
Mm.
Soul,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same. It's really
Yeah.
all the same. How am I caring for my deepest aspect of self, which from my perspective is soul? I
Yeah. Yeah.
care for that. And getting a manicure is not that. That's something else. That's something, but I get them. I love them, but that's
Yeah.
not
It's not the
what
same thing.
I'm talking about. The necessary, as you said, the willingness to every single day pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to your health, including, and I think especially at this point, our mental health.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with you, people.
Mm.
Mental health is not, it's been used as kind of a label to, it's been misused.
Yes.
It's been misused. There is nothing wrong with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Nothing. And it's really important for us to get clear about that. So what's
Yeah,
right?
that's a really powerful um, thing that you've said to me over and over in my interactions with you and being in sessions with you as you are mentoring me and being a teacher and a voice of wisdom in my life is, Katara, what if nothing's wrong? And it really struck me because I found that I was constantly strategizing in my
Mm-hmm.
mind and in my heart every day, most of the day, um, because I think something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, like, I am mentally, like, I'm just exhausted from strategizing. And you were like, well, what if nothing's wrong? And I just was like, hold on a second. There's a whole lot of stuff wrong. Wait a minute.
That's right. Yeah.
What if nothing's wrong? What if nothing's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know there's a whole bunch of stuff that's wrong,
Yeah. What if there's nothing wrong with you? And I just was like, whoa. And I remember it took several sessions for me to kind of turn the ship and say, oh, right.
Well, it's the what if. I mean, yeah, it's just the concept. Well, what if it turns out that what if? Why would you avoid that contemplation?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
if it turns out that I'm okay? There's
That's,
back in the old days, a million years ago, there used to be a book called "I'm Okay, You're Okay," and it was a form of I think what was it kind of I can't remember the name of the meditative practice or the psychotherapeutic practice that it was based on, but
mm-hmm.
none of these concepts. What I'm sharing with you is nothing new.
Nothing new. Yeah.
there's nothing new under the sun,
Mm-hmm. That's right.
but there are new suns.
There are new suns.
And I think that each of us is the new sun.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my sun? I was thinking about Angie Stone's song, Sunshine Has Come. There are no more tears in this cloud. Oh my God, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's powerful.
Yeah, so what if it turns out that I am the new sun? What if it turns
Yeah.
out that sunshine can come? What if it turns out that I am sunshine? I am
Mm.
moonlight.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of when we were together in St. Louis and we stood at Freedom Crossing, I believe
Mm.
is what it's called,
Mhm.
as we were facilitating together. And one of the most moving moments for me was when we stood at the river and where the enslaved people would cross that river to get to the north where there was freedom. And Gabrielle quoted you, something that you had said last year, she said this year. And it really just struck me. And it was that this place represents both boundary and horizon. Can you take a moment and expand on that?
I can.
It's such a
I
powerful statement.
It is really powerful. And so at the Freedom Crossing, we were in Missouri, and across the river, the Mississippi, is Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Illinois across the river. When we were in Kentucky, there's the Ohio River, and across the river is Ohio. Enslaved, when you're in Detroit, there's the Detroit River, and Detroit was one of the places on the Underground Railroad. There's the Detroit River, and across the river is Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it looks like you could swim over there. I mean, these are not, except it's too dangerous and treacherous and et cetera, because the water does what it does. But there are monuments in each of these locations, and there's a beautiful one in Detroit of a family, an enslaved family, standing on the bank of the river looking to Canada. And it makes I could tear up. It's so powerful, so beautiful. These people had no idea what was going to happen to them. They were stepping into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Why? In search of freedom. Boundary, the riverbank, where I'm standing, horizon. What's over there? It's like when people thought the world was flat
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't go beyond where they stood, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then there were some explorers who had the courage, or whatever it is they had, to say, you know what? I, I want to go see what's over there. I
Mm-hmm.
want to see if I can find freedom over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we find ourselves, as far as I'm concerned, in 2025, standing at that boundary. We cannot continue to do things the same way we've always done them. It's
That's
not
right.
working, folks. We're being called to do something different. We're
Mm-hmm.
being called to step into the unknown. That is a scary place to be. That requires courage. That
Mm-hmm.
requires going deep within yourself to find that place within you that is brave and courageous and willing to take a chance. this ain't working anymore.
Yeah,
You have to be willing. And I've been thinking this for many, 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 many years. This is not an easy place to be. You have to be willing to step into the unknown. And that's, but you know what? I think we're called on to do that anyway. I think it's called evolution, people. It's called growth. It's called, you know, stay the same. And we're living in a time now where it feels like things are moving pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. Like,
sure.
wait, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So let's get ready to step into our own experience and version of what freedom is, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about freedom.
That's right.
Freedom of spirit. It's not just freedom of body. It's freedom of spirit. I think often about Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison,
Mm-hmm.
where he found his freedom. I remember listening to a broadcast on NPR years ago, and there was a man who had been incarcerated, who had for many, many years, who developed something. I can't remember what it was, but he came up with some amazing invention that seemed impossible. And I remember the interviewer saying, "What in the world made you think you could actually do this?" He said, "Because I was in a place where nobody told me I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a place where nobody told me I couldn't." So we all live within our own cages, our own
Boundary.
boundary. That's it. That's right. I like that. Thank you for that. I like that. That is the boundary. And now we're being asked to expand. Am I prepared? And
Mm-hmm.
if not, how do I get prepared to expand my boundary? And I don't have to do it all at once. I don't have to do anything big. My husband always says 1 millimeter at a time. So if
Mm.
all I have to do to expand my boundary is to sit in stillness and silence after having listened to the Exhale app, sit in stillness and silence and asking myself, okay, what's right with me? I'm expanding my boundary.
That's right.
I'm expanding my capacity to see the world differently. That's where our creativity comes from. It is.
Yeah, it feels very dreamy too. Like it gives me the capacity to dream about the horizon.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. I
What
wonder what's over.
what's possible?
What's possible.
What's possible for me? What's possible for us? What's possible for my community, right? It expands the boundary and it also gives me the ability to lift my eyes and look at the horizon. Because we can look here at our boundary, right? There was something really powerful about that river's edge about like, oh, if I step here, I'm gonna I gotta swim or I'm gonna sink or I need a boat or right.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
but then there was also something really powerful when I was standing there about looking up and seeing Illinois.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah.
So I
Really.
think
Yeah.
that that work is both and, right? Expanding the boundary, but also giving me the ability, capacity to lift my head and look at the horizon. What's over there? And dream. And maybe that's all that we may, those that are listening, that may be all that you have the capacity for today is just lift your head and see and and dream.
And that's the expansion of the boundary. I mean, I'm going to ask you this. How long did it
Yes.
take you? How long has it taken you to realize your dream of the Exhale app that has manifested in that particular? How long ago did you start this, thinking about it? It started
Oh,
with,
it started with a thought
yeah,
5, almost 6 years ago.
yeah. What if? Mhm.
What if there was a
Mhm.
digital
Possible.
space,
Yeah.
but it came from me seeing a boundary?
Yeah.
There were not apps that centered Black women and their lived experiences, specifically Black women. I wanted that. I got to the river's edge and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I lifted my head and looked
Yeah.
to the horizon. But it has taken, and it's still not where I want it to be, right? We want 10,000 women to subscribe to the app, right? We're not there. And that's okay, though. I keep lifting my eyes to the horizon of what's possible, right?
And you have all the time in the world.
I do.
You do. It's true. You do. I was thinking, I want to just go back several paragraphs back when we were talking about goodness,
Mm.
and I was remembering a conversation that I heard Toni Morrison having, and she was talking about how boring she thought badness and evil were, and how much more interesting goodness is.
Mm.
Think about that, folks. Yeah, it is, isn't it? More interesting. It really is.
It's so much more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. As you explore your own internal goodness, what's good about me? What is it? What?
It feels very much tied to freedom in
It
this
is.
conversation even that we're having. I feel that there's a connection in like me exploring my goodness and freedom for myself.
Yeah, because freedom is not an external. It's not. We think of it as external, and to some extent it is. But just think about all of the people who have found their freedom while encased in a boundary.
Hmm.
I think it's a petri dish. Here's the boundary. The exploration may be intensified when you are locked up because you don't want to be in there, you know.
Sure. Sure.
But we're all locked inside of us. We don't want to underestimate, let's put it this way, the power of being locked into a state of consciousness that is not serving us, that wants to grow, that wants to expand, that wants us to break out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really powerful. I'm curious around what are you dreaming?
Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So in the old days, meaning about 2 weeks ago, no, really, until I had this very clear revelation today. Because I think I've been struggling with this for the past 5 years or so.
Mhm.
Um, about for real, what am I dreaming? I am dreaming of. I am dreaming of what it will be like when I no longer feel the need or the call. I'll call it the call to be out in the world, making a difference, making my mark, doing all those things.
Mhm.
I've settled into. I have done that. I've done that.
Yeah.
So what I'm dreaming of now is just what is it like to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the fruits of my labors? What is it like to just do what I'm doing right now? I love
Mm,
this. I could do this for the rest of my life, what we're doing.
I love it.
I could. Me too. It's
Yeah.
so fun. And having time to be, I don't know, contemplative. Contemplative time is really important to me now. It always has been, but it's like I just to luxuriate in being still and just thinking about stuff and enjoying my home,
Mhm.
which I do. But what if I didn't have a whole lot other else to do than that? A friend of mine years ago told a story about. She said when she turned 50, she got very depressed, and she told her mother, "Mom, her mother said, what's wrong with you? I'm really depressed. Why are you depressed?" "Well, I'm turning 50, and I'm just so depressed." And her mother said, "Oh, honey, don't be depressed. 50 is great. You start feeling a little bit more freedom, and you just sort of start stepping into yourself in a more confident way." She said, and she said, when I turned 60, that's when I really started to feel my stride. I felt like I'm really, becoming who I really am meant to be, and just enjoying that reality. She said, then I turned 70. It got even better. She said, then I
Mm.
turned 80. She said, and you could not have paid me to believe that it would be the best decade of all.
Wow.
I am looking forward to this being my best decade.
Let's
9
go.
will be better, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, so, yeah. So I'm
So
just looking.
beautiful.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Just you saying that out loud, you just lit up. You lit
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
You lit up. And as you're going to be turning 80,
yep,
it's beautiful to hear you dream about that in a way that feels exciting and
yeah,
fun
yeah.
and relaxing and not this doom of turning 80.
Yeah, I've had those. I don't have that anymore, but so you get through. There comes a point where you're. I think you're. I don't know if you're forced, but you're required to face your mortality.
Yeah.
I've sort of kind of done. I mean, I think that's probably you have to keep doing that. But I got over being afraid of it, afraid of doing that.
Mm,
And so this is just like the never ending story. Growth is a never ending story, folks. It's a never ending story. There's always a growth edge. There's always something on the horizon
that's right.
that calls you to, I don't know, move toward it. So I'm
Yeah.
going to keep moving toward the horizon until until I am the horizon. How's that?
Ooh, yes. Until you
Till I
are the
disappear
horizon.
into the horizon, yeah. I told you I grew up in the military, and there was they would always say, old soldiers never die, they just fade away. So until I fade away,
Until you fade away, until you are the horizon.
until I like that.
Well, that's our ancestors, right? We look to them. We look to the horizon. We can look to them as a blueprint. And
That's what I love. Go ahead.
with time, with the times that we're living in and how just it's a lot. But we do have a blueprint. We do have a blueprint, and we can look to our ancestors as that blueprint.
And you know what else we can do? Because I just thought of it. I thought, that's how I see myself. I am a living blueprint.
You absolutely
I'm a
are.
living blueprint, folks. So you don't have to wait till I'm an
Yeah.
ancestor,
That's
yeah.
why I'm in relationship with you.
Oh, honey,
That's,
thank you.
I mean, you're delightful and wonderful. And also, you are my blueprint. Like, I get to have a peek inside your life and
Yeah.
your evolution and your wisdom and your depth and your work, um, that I don't have to forge the forest, right? Like, I don't have to you've paved a way that now I can come and step on that path, and I don't have to clear it because you've done the work to clear it. I'll have my own work to do. I'll have my own hard, But thank you. Thank you for clearing
You're
for
welcome.
me, for us.
So I'm a
Thank you for
trailblazer.
you a trailblazer, you a blueprint, you a horizon. You're all kinds of things today. If you could leave one message of wisdom for Black women listening today about their mental health, about their well-being, about daily practices, or whatever you want, what would be that nugget of wisdom that you would leave for them today?
Can I leave two?
You can
The
leave
first
two.
what comes to mind is reality is manageable and life is on your side. Step into it.
Life is on your side.
Yep. Step into it. Don't be afraid of it.
Thank you for that.
Live your life. Live your life.
So good. Always such a delight to just be in your presence. I got to hang out with you last week, and then we're now talking today. So you're busy the rest of the week. We'll have to carve in some time the next couple of weeks to
Okay.
check in.
Well, you're busy too, so you let me know when you're available, and
I
we'll hang
will.
out.
We'll
Okay.
connect. Yeah. How can listeners find you if they want to find your books, read your books? Are you on social media? What's going on?
I am. So I have a website. It's very simple. It's drgailparker.com, Gail Parker.com. So my books are on there. I think that's my Instagram handle
Yeah.
as well. I think it is. Yeah. And then, I don't post much on Facebook anymore, and I really don't post that much on Instagram. But I have. There's a lot of stuff on Instagram that may be of interest. A lot of pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. Instagram lives and all the things. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I love that. Thank
yeah.
you for taking time to talk to
Thank you
me,
for
to
asking
talk
me.
and chat with you. Listeners, I hope you got something out of this episode. And yeah, we will talk to you soon, Dr. Gail. Exhale is a social movement prioritizing the overall well-being of Black women. You can join our movement by subscribing to this podcast and downloading Exhale app, and by continuing to prioritize yourself and your well-being. Keep taking deep inhales and long, long exhales. Until next time.